Joining us right now is Bill Daley. He is vice chairman at Wells Fargo, also former White House chief of staff during the Obama administration. And Bill, Brian's right. Probably the toughest words to say on TV are, "We don't know." Do you know anything more than we do?
No, Becky, to remind you, in 2000, I was chair of Al Gore's campaign, and I remember at about this hour wondering what in God's name was going to happen in one state, not 6 states had questioned. And then we went for another 5 weeks, 5 days before it was determined. So I think we're all just going to have to kind of buckle up, work through this process in each state. And as we all know, as your colleagues have reported, each state has different laws. And what's the whole question right now is letting them fulfill their obligations. And some of them will move very quickly. And they'll be determining, in my sense, probably in the next day or two, of the 6 states that are really in question. But let's just let the process move forward. There's no reason for people to get all sort of out of place here. We have a close election. We knew this nation's divided. So who's surprised that it's a real close election, other than the pollsters, obviously, as Joe said.
Yeah, the pollsters have a big surprise. Look, this is a difficult time. It's a lot of mail-in ballots, a lot of absentee ballots, far more than we've ever dealt with in recent history. And that is going to take a little time to work through. But there was a betting site yesterday, a gambling site, that was saying there was pretty strong odds, potentially, get a big payoff, but that this could not be decided potentially by December 1st. Is that what you think, or you think we'll have some answers maybe later this week?
Okay, I think we'll have some answers. I really do. First of all, the Gore-Bush thing was 20 years ago. Technology's different. You don't have the chads. I think the systems learned a lot since 2000. So I think it will move quicker. Florida, or I think it was Pennsylvania is saying they will have their votes counted by, I think, Monday. Michigan, I think, by Friday at the latest. You've got ballots, obviously, that have been mailed in from all over for these absentee, first because of pandemic, but you also have military people who mail in their ballots, and obviously they have to be counted. They're in those piles in different counties in each of these states. And so it would, for people to say, let's stop counting now, one of the groups that you'd possibly have a terrible negative impact on are soldiers around the world who have to vote absentee.
Right. You know, technology may have moved on over the last 20 years, but the ballot I filled out was just a paper ballot. It was lower technology than what they were dealing with in Florida back in 2020. Is that a complicated factor?
Chads, I don't know, the people who had to stare at the chads and figure out which hole was punched in some people's minds, paper ballots are the most honest ballots you can have right now, as opposed to the machines, which some technologists would say are able to be hacked by others. No evidence of that yet. But I think this process has just got to be left to move forward. There will be court cases. There always are. Whether they're determined or not remains to be seen. But I think we should all accept the fact we have a divided nation. We have a very close election. It is much to many pollsters' surprise, as I say, and politicians who thought the blue wave of 18 was going to continue. It obviously did not. You have a much stronger red wave in parts of the country that a lot of Democrats thought was not going to happen, and it has. And the analysis after will be most interesting to see what that's about. So I think there's a lot to be learned from the process and a lot to be learned from the results of this election, no matter who's the president, as to what that means for a country going forward.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.